How's it going, everybody? My name is Josh, you're watching Euphrates Reviews, and this, obviously considering the lack of other content on my channel at the moment, is my first review. And it's going to be a review of a figure that I very recently picked up, and it's honestly one of my favorites right now. Kingdom Core Class Rattrap. First things first, what is Core Class? Because that's not a size class that's appeared before 2021, and it's weird. Because it's not quite Legends, the body proportions are different, and it's taller. It's smaller than Scout. It's not like a small deluxe, like what we had with Cliffjumper. It's a whole new thing, but it fills out the slot of a cheaper, smaller alternative figure, such as when they used to do, a Voyager, a Deluxe, Scout, Legends of every single character in every single toy line. And I don't get it. The comparisons to Scout and Legends class from the olden days stops here, though. Price and size are the only things that this has in common with Legends or Scout class. Because the engineering, the posability, the sculpting, everything is just so on point. I haven't checked out any of the other Core class figures, mostly because I can't find them. But from what I've seen, they all look to be so good. Especially Starscream. Okay, putting most of that tangent to the side, the sculpting here is just so spot on. Like, it's Rattrap. And speaking on his head sculpt specifically, it's just so perfect for its size. His shiny sculpted exposed brain thing that was sculpted so well, with such little room to work with. And his heavy downset brow that makes it look like he's so angry and done with everything, because that's Rattrap's character. And his mouth, it's open just a little bit, just so you can see his little silver teeth that are painted. And he looks like he's just so ready to say his classic catchphrase, "We're all gonna die."
Shut up, Rattrap.
These tiny little maximal symbols on his forearms, insane attention to detail, for no real reason other than show accuracy, and just making it, overall, the definitive Rattrap figure. So I may not have the original Rattrap, or Generations Thrilling 30 Rattrap, or really anything to directly compare this to, but I don't need that, because this figure is amazing. It does what you'd want a figure to do. It has amazing posability. It has ankle posability on a figure this small. This Supreme class Optimus Prime from Transformers Armada, the biggest thing I own, his legs are hollow and fake. No posability from the waist down. This, like 5 joints per leg from the waist down. No waist swivel due to transformation, but that's fine. Because like he's just got plenty of ball joints. He can do like any pose you would need him to. It's just so good at a $10 price point. Like how did they achieve this? And in terms of accessories, he doesn't come with much. He only comes with this tiny little blaster that is extremely show accurate for its size. It's just a little plain because it's lacking in any paint whatsoever. And I could just imagine something this small having a frustrating parts clashy transformation due to quality control issues, or Hasbro's incessant need to make everything overly complicated. But no, it's an intuitive transformation. It works. Never had any issues with it, and I figured it out without the instructions. That's the mark of a good toy. If you don't need instructions to figure out how to play with it properly. And this fits the bill perfectly. And speaking of that intuitive transformation, and here we have rat mode, looking, as it's intended to, like a rat. Circling back to sculpting for a second, the fur texture on this figure is as lifelike as you'd want it to be realistically, because if it was more detailed, it would get into the territory of kind of weird. It's not like flocked or anything, obviously. It's just plastic that has subtle sculpting to make it feel like fur, and that is amazing attention to detail on such a small figure. And as I was saying, the transformation, it's clever, it works, everything works, it's not frustrating in any way. Like, I've had problems with transformations of figures, namely Siege Magnus up here, but that's a story for another time. This figure, transformation, well thought out, it works, it keeps the robot mode relatively show accurate, and the rat mode obviously not show accurate, because with Kingdom they're going for more of a realistic thing, and they've kept the kibble even to a minimum. This has less kibble than Thrilling 30 Rattrap. Obviously, it's not perfect, because you can see his head, and he has, like, fist butt cheeks. It's a little weird. You can see his thighs. But, like, you're never going to display the figure on its side or upside down. You know? Like, it just... it works. It really works. And just the level of engineering that they've put into such a small little figure with no parts forming. I'm looking at you, Cliff Jumper. It's a $10 figure, but Hasbro still poured their heart and soul into it to make it a great figure, even if it's literally designed to be an impulse purchase because of its low price point. But this is just... it's perfect. Okay, got a little heated. Perfect, not exactly how I describe this figure. It's good. It's really good. I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's just not quite there. It's like, it's an 8 out of 10, you know? Like, Pacific Daydream. Great album. Love it. Just not quite what you would expect from Weezer. And this isn't quite what I would expect from a Rattrap figure. Because when I think Rattrap, I don't think realistic rat with, like, fur texture and whatnot. I think the adorable beast mode from the show, where he did that whole, like, standing up and, like, putting his hands together thing. This figure, if you put it in the standing up pose, it looks weird, because his hands are always going to be facing forward, because they don't rotate or anything, but that's a nitpick. It's a $10 figure. I wasn't expecting it to do that at all. Not at all, trust me. But it just has some weird bits about it that make it not the greatest thing ever, but I still love it. The panel lines are a little bit intrusive on the beast mode itself. The tail on mine won't stay in place in beast mode. I think it's because the pin's coming out. That's not Hasbro's fault. I can probably fix that myself. I just don't know how to at the moment. I wish the robot mode was chrome and not flat colors. And I overall wish the rat mode was more posable. But I'm really just reaching for complaints. Kingdom Core Class Rattrap is a solid figure. It scales perfectly with the only other Kingdom figure I have being Deluxe Class Cheetor. He's perfectly in scale with my other War for Cybertron figures. And Core Class, very welcome new addition to the family of size classes that we currently use. Being half the price of a Deluxe, but in some cases has more complicated engineering than a Deluxe. Sideswipe. It's just the right thing to add. And in general, Core Class is just a nice thing to have, since some of the robots are technically smaller than others, and they don't have to mark all of those up to a Deluxe price now. Cliff Jumper. And it's so nice that the new Core Class figures don't have to be grouped in with Legends Class like the Titans Return mini-bots were. Not pictured here because I don't have any. Because Legends Class makes me think of the movie figures that were Legends-sized, and those were not great. Let's face it. Some of those did not age very well. I don't have any, I'll put up some pictures, but those figures did not age well. But I think the Titans Return mini-bots still look amazing, and the new Core Class figures, they look amazing. They're not oversimplified. They're just trying to be smaller versions of certain characters. And Rattrap needed to be Core Class anyway so that he would scale properly with figures like Cheetor and Optimus Primal. I don't have Optimus Primal, but it looks like they would scale perfectly. And I'm so happy that Hasbro finally gave us another size class that's between Scout and Deluxe where these figures can fall in. But overall, Kingdom Core Class Rattrap is exactly what I wanted it to be. It perfectly captures just who Rattrap is, what he looks like, how he should look in comparison to the other characters, how he should look so small compared to everything else. It's just, it's Rattrap. It's what you'd want out of Rattrap. This is the definitive Generations Rattrap. Now, if I may, a little bit of a tangent. Hasbro, gears, please. It's not just me. I'm not the only one who wants gears now. I saw other people complaining about it on Twitter. We need a gears. There was going to be a gears. It was teased in the Kingdom Art. Where is it? Give us gears, please, please, please. All right, so thanks for watching my first review. I know it's a little bit of a mess. It's really dark and hard to see some parts. I'm working on it. Hopefully by next review everything will be finished. But I would just like to say just a huge thanks to anyone who watched this, anyone who saw the post on Twitter, and if you didn't see the post on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at Euphrates9982 if you're so inclined. And, you know, any feedback that you can give me in the comments, greatly appreciated. Once again, thanks for watching, and, you know, subscribe if you liked it. If you didn't like it, tell me why in the comments, and I'll try to work on whatever the issue was. And I'll see you in the next review. Bye-bye.